Welcome to Stargate SG-1 for the first time, still not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Akin, and I'm watching Stargate SG-1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I'm also watching Stargate SG-1 for the 47th time. But don't expect me to speak a whole lot, because my voice is way off tonight.
Hey, you doing okay?
Yeah, I am.
Clearly you are.
Suddenly, I feel like, I don't know, Ella James. No, hey, listen, let's cover it right at the top of the show, Jeff. Brent's got a little head cold going on, and my voice is all weird tonight, is what it is.
You're on drugs. You should be fine.
I'm on drugs.
Over the counter.
Brought to you by the wonderful makers of Vicks. Thank you to those who supported them through the pandemic and got them through, because my gosh, their products are amazing.
It worked, that's for sure. Why don't you tell them what we're actually doing with this show?
I'm Brent Allen, and I'm watching Stargate SG-1 for the 47th time, but for the first time, I am looking for what Stargate is trying to teach us, provided I remember to actually look for that during the episode and not just get lost in the episode like I did last week. You know, those are the lessons that hold up a mirror to society, give us hope that things can be better in the future, or just show us how we can be better human beings to one another.
Brent, this week we have a two-parter. We're closing out season 2 and opening up season 3. So we're going to be watching Out of Mind and then Into the Fire.
Yes.
And Into the Fire is a very loaded episode title for us, just coming off the heels of Babylon 5.
Honestly, Jeff, and I think I can say this with all surety, probably my favorite episode of Babylon 5 we've watched so far is Into the Fire.
I'll say top 2 or 3 for me, maybe top.
And it's not 2 or 3.
Right.
What would you say is your top one, just out of curiosity?
Oh my gosh, that's really hard to say. TKO. Only a few people who are watching or listening to this got that.
That is a deep cut, and that is yeah. Hey, listen, if you guys are just hanging out with us for Stargate, that's amazing. That's awesome. Make sure you check out Jeff and I's other show, Babylon 5, for the first time. It's the thing that it's the mothership show. It's the one that got this whole thing started, and we've had a great time over there with that show too. So make sure you check us out over there.
But with this two-parter, Brent, my expectations are very high, right? And I feel like the first episode's really going to set up a big battle that will close out everything from the second season and start laying the framework for new stuff in season 3.
Well, let's jump in and find out, Jeff. What do you say?
Let's do it.
This episode 22 of season 2, episode 1 of season 3, Out of Mind, Into the Fire. Original air dates: February 10th for Out of Mind, June 25th for Into the Fire. So a really good break for these guys in between. Both episodes directed by famed SG-1 director Martin Wood.
Oh, yeah.
We are still getting to know him. And both episodes story crafted by show creators Brad Wright and Jonathan Glassner. Jonathan gets the script credit. What do you call that? The screen credit? The screenplay credit, whatever it is. He gets the writing credit for the first episode. Brad Wright gets it for the second episode.
Nice.
That being said, Jeff, let's dive into this episode. Let's go watch it right now, you and me. All right. Well, with that, we are going to watch this episode. If you're joining us for the very first time, the way this works is Jeff and I are going to watch this episode for the first time right now. And if you want to see the full unedited version of that video, head over to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Bye Nerds. I love it. That's BYE Nerds. And you guys can check out the full unedited version of that video. However, if you're with us on YouTube, you are going to get the YouTube version where, we had to cut a bunch out.
If you're an audio podcast listener, you're about to gate into the future. You're going to catch us after we've watched these episodes. You're going to hear my for the first time reactions. You're going to hear the sci-fi messages that Brent pulled out of this one. I am dying to move out of season 2. Brent, let's kick it off.
Chevron 7 locked.
All right, Jeff, mid episode break. I'm not sure what episode season 2 spent all its money on, but
yeah, probably quite a bit. So yeah, initial reaction is 80% I don't care about this episode at all. It could never happen. Neat idea, but the ending is sucked me back in. Like now I'm like, ooh, I want to know what happens.
So this next episode, let's just be clear, it's a brand new year of budget.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff now, like blow it all on this one.
And it's a season premiere. Like you've got to go all out for it, right?
And that's a great episode title, Out of Mind. Totally lines up to what we just saw.
I really wish it would have just been out of the frying pan.
Into the fire.
Yeah. Or just out of the pan into the fire, like something like that. I wish it would have been that.
And this is a show that would do that.
All right. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, Jeff. Double episode in the can. You have finished season 2. You have started season 3. What are your thoughts? You've just watched these episodes for the first time. Out of Mind and Into the Fire.
Into the Fire was awesome. It was a great episode. It was fun. There were whole moments where like you and I were just quiet watching because like the battle scenes were cool. It was this Into the Fire is an episode that like if I just need to sit down and watch an exciting action-packed episode, that's a go-to.
There you go.
Also, Hathor gets snap-mared into a cryo-freeze chamber, and hopefully this time when she's dead, it sticks.
Right.
That would be good. I am so disappointed, though, in the first episode, Out of Mind. My God, what a it was kind of a cool idea, the way they were setting up the whole, you're in the future. It was cool that it was the year 2077, because for my Fallout people that are watching, you know what that means. But it was a clip show. I started like tracking which episodes that they pulled stuff from, and then I stopped because I'm like, the cool thing is they literally pulled from like some of the best episodes that there were. Because we got the Nox, we got Thor's Chariot, Torment of Tantalus, Serpent's Grasp and Lair, Spirits, Hathor, Message in a Bottle, a couple other ones.
Everything until you said Hathor. But they had to throw Hathor in because this was the sequel, right? Like,
hey, remember this person you tried to forget because it was a terrible episode and not a great character? Well,
give us a chance to redeem that. Here we go.
We're going to try. And this was a worthy redemption of her. Like, this was a lot more legit. She was more of a threat, in this one. Like, I bought it. I think it's actually kind of a cool insight into the Gould culture, right? So, like, from what I understood, she was trying to raise an army to really take her place among the System Lords, which was going to mean taking out some System Lords. So it's just kind of interesting that, like, we're awesome, we're the Gould, everything's cool. However, we're basically the mirror universe in the original series where we have to kill each other to advance and can never trust anyone.
That's a good, astute observation of the System Lords for sure.
So to close out my thoughts on Out of Mind, the Into the Fire started literally with Colonel Makepeace coming into General Hammond, and he says, hey, the SG-1 team got captured. They're over here, and it's Hathor that has them. Like in 47 seconds, he covered the entire first episode.
Yep.
Didn't need to have Out of Mind at all. And spoiler alert, when we get to the ranking, Out of Mind, the ranking was Event in Time, Out of Mind is definitely going to show in the ranking of this one.
Oh, wow.
It's not my least favorite episode of season 2, but it would definitely be bottom 3 or 4.
I gotta tell you, on a personal level, I tend to enjoy clip shows for whatever reason. I think they're fun. It's a fun little romp down memory lane or whatever. I usually like the wraparound story. I think typically the wraparound stories for clip shows tend to be pretty good. In this one, it
was it's interesting.
Not a season finale.
No, at all.
Not a season finale.
It's interesting. It's the season 2 close for Stargate. The season 2 close for Next Generation was a clip show with a wraparound story as well. Really, the big thing in this, though, is, okay, outside of them touching on a whole lot of they tied, connected a lot of dots in this. It was cool. The Tok'ra and everything. Super cool. But to me, the thing out of this is Teal'c. Of every character on this, right? We look in stories like this in television series for that arc of growth and change in characters. Going back to Star Trek, The Next Generation again, that's one of the biggest complaints some people have on is many of the characters at the end of the series are pretty much the same person they were at the beginning. Now, not all of them, but quite a few of them. And so it's like, that's 7 seasons. This happened. Teal'c is my favorite character on this show. He has been for quite a long time. And Christopher Judge just plays him to perfection. But he's been kind of, they've all been a little like, I'm just this person doing this thing, and we've seen a little bit here, a little bit there. But in this, we saw an evolution in Teal'c.
Yeah.
We saw fire, right? He was intense and he was yelling and knocking people out. And then he gets all of these Jaffa and other, the people that are left on Chulak together. He gives this just incredible speech, just trying to pull everybody together. And he just said these incredible things, right? The Goa'uld are not gods. We are their strength. We are their power. Oh,
yeah.
And I feel like he quit the SGC. I don't know if that's going to stick or not, because he quit in front of a not real General Hammond, I think. And because that was not clear, right, what Teal'c was experiencing. I think it was part of the thing. But either way, he resigned at one point. He's wearing a robe and has a staff and everything. But I feel like we're going to see Teal'c with a new mission in going out to go find all the Jaffa that Braytak, has set up, the people who feel the same way. Season 3, my guess, is really just going to be a lot of his journey. And this was totally an episode of epic speeches. Hammond, ready to go in, they're going to go save SG-1. He gives his war speech. You see why he's a general. Like, he's done stuff. He pulls everybody together in that moment where he's like, I don't want to command you to go do this. So if you want to do it, just take one, and then everyone takes one step forward. Like, they know what's coming. They're like, dude, we're in.
Yeah.
It was great. And then we saw to wrap up my thoughts. This is fun. It's a great episode, but not a lot of thoughts outside of that. But Braytak whips out this really cool old ship that he's been holding on to for a long time that Teal'c flies. And it was pretty cool. To me, it looked like if you took a original trilogy TIE fighter and combined it with like the hyperspace rings that the Naboo fighters used in the prequel trilogies. It's like a hybrid of those two things. But I hope we see more of that ship. I like that quite a bit. And before I ask you to share any of those sci-fi messages that you might have found in here, all I got to say is, yeehaw!
I need you to pull that clip and put it on one of your hotkeys, Jeff. Like, it needs to be the sound drop for like a future game on another show or something,
So with that, Brent, what sci-fi messages did you find?
Man, I was struggling on this one, not just because it was late, but that certainly was a struggle too. But I was paying attention, unlike last week where I literally just got so wrapped up in the episode I forgot. Like, I was actively looking. I did come up with a few things. One, you referenced just a second ago. In Teal'c's big speeches, he's talking about all this stuff. He says, those Goa'uld are nothing without the Jaffa. They're nothing. The power of the people over the man, so to speak. If those Jaffa choose to rise up, Goa'uld ain't going to stop it.
Game over.
Even with all their magic and technology, they ain't going to stop it. But juxtapose, let's do that favorite word there. Juxtapose to how it worked between Teal'c and Hammond. Now, I want to clarify the Hammond thing for you, and I don't mind. That was real.
Was it?
At least as far as the way I've interpreted. You guys out there, write in, let me know. I've always interpreted that as real. I've had no reason to believe that was anything different.
They just seemed really fishy. Like, it wasn't like they were so worried about him like running off and doing a thing.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Before we gate into the rest of this episode, did you know you're missing most of the content from this podcast? Stargate SG-1 for the first time has an active and exciting Patreon that you can join right now by clicking the link in the show notes. Not only will you get access to the full, unedited podcast and reaction videos, you'll also be able to join a growing, vibrant, maybe even an intergalactic community. Subscribers even get access to all of our content from Babylon 5 for the first time. Don't miss out on this content and the amazing people. Just click the link in the show notes. Teal'c thinks you should do it right now.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think you were so in tune with it being like that at that point that everything kind of sort of maybe felt like that. Maybe, possibly. They said they found Teal'c next to the gate. versus the other guys were like, oh yeah, you just got sent back here through us. No, I think they legitimately just stole SG-1. I don't think they thought too much of the Chauvin. I don't think they thought too much of the Teal. Just leave him behind. He's a servant. He's a whatever. Let's get the road people.
Yeah.
So that was really happening there. Yeah, Teal quit. But notice what happened. He said, I've got to take my leave. And Hammond resisted, and eventually Hammond relented. What's Hammond going to do? Teal quit on you. You're literally going to arrest me and throw me in jail now. Because that's the only way you're keeping me here. You know, I'll punch in the numbers up in the computer myself. I know how to do that. You're going to literally hold me captive here. If that's what is that really what we're going to do here? After all we've done together, after all of our friendships, this is how we're going to go out. Like, can't do that. And Hammond relented. So there is a thing, a message. I don't even say a message, just a theme here of what happens when for lack of a better phrase, the working class people rise up against the masters, rise up against
I don't know, you call them the proletariat or
something like that, you know? So there's that. Was that really what this whole episode was about? No. Was that what did the writers ever sit down and say, let's have this discussion between the two? No. Do I think that they did something with Hammond and Teal'c at the beginning to set up and did they go into, we want to show Teal'c beginning to raise resistance people. We want to show Teal'c beginning to pull people away. We want to show Teal'c. Let's remind everybody what Teal'c is really out here doing. Like Daniel and Teal'c are two people who are on specific missions being in part of SG-1. Jack and Sam, it's kind of their job.
Yeah.
It's their interest. Daniel's trying to save his wife. Teal'c's trying to free his people. And as you pointed out, Teal'c took a great step forward, maybe several steps forward in this particular episode towards that.
Yeah.
Daniel still can't figure it out if he's married yet or not.
It's been so long, and he's just like, yeah, I'll just keep showing up. I got a haircut, so I've done that. That's my growth as a character right now.
But there was one other that I saw that I do think this is an intended message, although probably not the message of the entire episode, though maybe it is. Because it really, what was this episode all about? Rescuing SG-1, right?
Okay, yeah, right.
That's if you boil the entire episode down into what is it?
They got captured. We're going to get them.
And I mean, how many SG teams do we send out after them? How many people went after them? Teal'c went after them. Everybody did what we had to do. We all went after our people to go get our people. Major Davis says at one point, it's just one team. Is it really worth it? Hammond looks back at him and just goes, you've got a lot to learn about how we do things around here. You know, and then you referenced it earlier. Hammond goes in, he asks for volunteers. Before he's even done asking for volunteers, they're taking one step in unison.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Loyalty, not leaving a person behind, going and getting somebody, doing something about it, being about your team, about your people, being about the individual, about the human. We talk about how to be better humans to one another.
There you go.
We're going to go after our one guy. There's there's three people out there. We're going to go get them. We're going to find out where they are. We're going to stop at nothing. We're going to go. I 1,000% believe that was what this episode is about. I think it actually tracks even with what we were just saying a second ago about Teal'c and the Jaffa and Teal'c and Hammond. I think it was replete really all the way through. Jeff, I can't sit here and give this one 7 chevrons. I don't even know that I can give it 5 chevrons, but this is a solid 3 or 4 chevron episode.
You had me nervous there for a second that you were going to give it 5 or something like that. And I'm like, I agree. That's a good message. We saw it with Hammond. We saw it with Teal'c. They didn't have to go and save them. He could have gone and started recruiting his Jaffa and gone after, whatever. So yeah, totally the message, but 5 would have been too many. So where are you landing on it? I'm a little nervous.
3 or 4. Can I go wishy-washy? Can I be 3 or 4? 3.5, right in the middle.
Yeah. We'll call that a 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call that right. I'll call it right in the middle. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Which is very weird. I'm still getting used to this new 7 system because I say 5 feels like it to me, but no, there's a few more. So yeah, I'll go 3.5.
They're still getting used to the 7, in the chevrons. So they've used it once. So
well, we got the gate technician back. So yeah,
we're in good hands now. So that's awesome. Yeah, 3.5. I think that's a good rating.
Well, Jeff, I do ratings. You do rankings. You kind of teased this a few minutes ago. You, my friend, get to place these episodes in our 100% completely accurate and definitive ranking of Stargate SG-1 season 2 and 3. We're doing both. Jeff, last what do we call it? Last go round, last two-parter, last season ender, season finale. You smushed them together as one and you left them together as one. You put them all into the season 2 category. You don't have to do that. You can separate these as 2 completely different episodes. You may want to do that. How are you going to rank these 2 episodes, Out of Mind and Into the Fire?
I appreciate you saying that could happen, because I hate what will happen to this pairing as we get deeper into season 3. Because Into the Fire was a great episode. It was awesome. Out of Mind was worthless. And so I am going to split these up. I'm going to put Out of Mind into the season 2 ranking. Into the Fire, the number 1 episode of season 3 so far.
Fair enough.
There you go. There's the easy one. Now, with season 2, it gets a little complicated because we literally watched one of the worst episodes in all of sci-fi in season 2. And One False Step.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do.
I will tell you this. Listen, you put it where you want to put it, but I'll go ahead and say it. I will watch, hands down, I would watch Out of Mind way before I would ever watch One False Step.
So what you're going to see here, what you see is I put Out of Mind as the new number 20. There are 22 episodes in a season, although we combined, some 2-parters. I have a blank at 21, and I have One False Step.
You're going to do the thing, aren't you?
I'm going to do the thing.
You're doing the thing, aren't you?
Yeah, it was that bad of here we are, a couple weeks afterwards, I'm still going to beat up on One False Step. It was offensively bad. But Out of Mind, the number 20 episode for season 2.
Jeff, somewhere out there's an SG1 podcaster that feels about One False Step the way you feel about TKO.
It's true. Absolutely. What do we always say? Every episode is somebody's favorite.
Except for One False Step. All right, Jeff. Well, with that, we are out of time. This is going to do it for us here on Stargate SG1 for the first time, talking about Out of Mind and Into the Fire. Officially done with season 2. Officially kicked off into season 3. Jeff, next week, the name of the episode we are watching is titled, get out your pen and paper. You ready? Seth.
Seth?
Seth.
Like the name Seth.
Seth.
That's my boss's name. And he's a great guy. I enjoy working with him a lot. And so here's what I'm going to say. Seth is going to be about a really great person who comes in and really helps develop all the leadership within the SGC.
You're not a good guesser, Jeff.
That's a terrible guess, right? But what the heck? What is okay? Is Seth going to be like? Are we introducing a new recurring character? It's going to be a big deal named Seth, and he's going to come in. Is that what this is? Is Seth some other race that's out there? I don't know. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say it's an episode about my boss.
Well, we'll find out next time, right here on Stargate SG1 for the first time. Thank you guys so much for joining us, hanging with us for a double length episode. Woo, these feel it, man. I feel these double ones.
Yeah, for sure, for real.
Definitely feel these double ones. Hey, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast or wherever you are watching this. And please leave us a rating and review if it is available. We always appreciate that. And please be sure to share this podcast with somebody who needs to get some Stargate into their life, whether they love the show or whether they're getting into the gate for the very first time, just like my buddy Jeff over there. Nope, he's over there. And so with that, guys, until next time, we'll catch you later.
Hey, Brent.
And we'll see. Yeah, so close. What's up?
So again, that first episode, Out of Mind,
Yeah.
a little bit of a different take on it. I liked it a lot better the first time I saw it, when TNG did it and called it The Mind's Eye.
Oh, for crying out loud.